Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Happy March. Today is March 3rd, 2025. I do hope that everyone had a rested weekend. I hope you had a restful weekend, Michael.
I certainly did, Julie. Always great
Yeah.
to spend quality time with the family.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone who's on live with us today. Really, today, I wanted to focus on talking about the topic we are still here and stronger. It is really like the foundation for our topic today, Michael. Um, I have, have a feeling that when we are together, we weather through tough time. We had a time that we celebrated when we are excited about the vision, and then we have time where we are going through some challenges. However, all of that time together, we are still here. It's so funny. In the last few days, people at church, people that know me in the last more than 6 years ago, people that known me, recent years, and they always ask, so what are you doing now? Right? I'm like, I'm still here. I'm still doing what I've been doing the past 6 7 years. And they're like, wow, you're still here. I said, yes, we're still here. We went through some challenges, some bottleneck, but we're still here. We're getting better, we're stronger. And that is something I really want to bring it up and talk about it today. Is we are still here. We're stronger, and also, taking us back on the last conversation when Mr. MUFAREH appeared on Marty's and Chris's live, and on what he said, and that's how I see it. So that's how I see it, Michael. What
Hmm.
about you?
Okay, that's how you see it. All right. Well, I mean, obviously, we're still here because we still believe in the vision, right? We still believe, in the idea of being able to uplift humanity, right? We still believe in the idea of correcting the corruption that's out there. We still believe in the idea of helping people achieve their dreams, right? So all those things are still present. So that's why we're still here, right? And we'll continue to be here as long as we still have hope, as long as we feel that you know all is well, right? Meaning that we can still accomplish all that we've said in the past, right? That's what it's about. We don't have any reason to think otherwise, right? At this point, right? So we continue to press on. We continue to, keep the dreams alive because a lot of people are counting on this, right? A lot of people. I mean, if we think of all the relationships that we have, right? And we think of all the individuals that we've invited to come join this movement, right? A lot of them are heavily dependent upon, the expectation of what is to come, right? So yeah, we're still here. We're still supporting those ideas. You understand? So we want people's dreams to become reality. We want to see people successful. We want to see people to be financially free. All those things we want. Why wouldn't we? Right? And so therefore, we're still here holding the fort, right? And we continue to push forward because you know what else, Julie? Right? You know what I mean? It's things are not going to get easier. Like it's just not going to get easier, right? We can look all around the world and see because we hear it from people. People are sharing what they're going through, their struggles, and what have you. So it's at least when you have hope, you know that okay, there's still a chance, right? The opportunity is still alive, and so we're going to continue to plug forward. We're going to continue because the relationship that you and I have built over the years, Julie, that is definitely stronger. There's no doubt about that, right? And the relationships we have with so many others are definitely stronger. These past 6.5, almost 7 years, right? So we've built relationships, we've grown together, right? And we'll continue to move in the direction of helping people to accomplish their dreams and reality. So yeah, we're definitely still here, Julie.
Absolutely, Michael. And I really thinking back the journey that we've had together, you have to really you have to agree with me. And I know a lot of people are watching um understand that the last 6 7 year has been a very meaningful years for us because all of us are working together hand in hand, moving toward our dream of being total freedom. We did, everything that we did in the past 6 7 years together are very meaningful. That's actually from where I'm standing, is because it it's kind of like you haven't for me, it's like I haven't been working with other people around the world my entire life, just the people immediate here around here, or on my own a lot more. And now I'm really open up out to be with other people, collaborating, talking to other people, learning about other cultures and learning about other people. It's really opened my eyes on a lot of things, and I felt that in the past 6 7 years has been very meaningful. Obviously we have things in our life, when we have our children, that's meaningful time when we have our children. But this is talking about a global business that we're getting together, and for me it was very meaningful because obviously I get to know more, and I feel like I'm getting smarter. Because I get to learn more, and I get to actually seeing things in the bigger picture, globally, instead of just in my circle around here.
Well, that's a good way to look at it, right? You're, you know, Julie. I mean, the bottom line to me is that we all came together for a reason. Like,
Mhm.
if we go back to 2018 or 19, whenever people jumped on board, we all came together for a reason, right? Us in the early days, we listened to these two videos, that Ash Mafar shared. And, we believed in all of that, right? Absolutely. And we still believe in that, Julie, right? In that, collectively, us together, we can make a difference in the world. There's no doubt about that, right? So all those things are still resonating, with us and with a lot of founders, even, up until now, right? Because what are people trying to accomplish in life, right? Everyone wants to be financially free, Julie, right? And we know that, you need resources, right? You have to have resources, you have to have access, you have to have ability, right? So it's either the work is being done for you or you're doing the work yourself or a combination of both, right? And so the dream, the goal of Unpassive was to be able to get people in and be able to do all the heavy lifting for them, help them to get to their financial destination, right? And so as we move forward, yes, we'll see, what's on the table. We'll see what the next phase look like, all of that stuff. But the bottom line is that's what people are looking for. People are looking for a way out, right? People realize that, yeah, my 9 to 5 job is not going to cut it, right? No matter where you live in the world. Doesn't matter if you live in the United States, doesn't matter if you live in Europe, it doesn't matter if you live in Africa, it doesn't matter where you are, right? The 9 to 5 job for most people just does not cut it. Because if it did, Julie, people would never search for opportunities,
Mhm.
right? People just, I got my 9 to 5, I'm good, I'll work until I retire, and then that's it, right? The reality is, and most people's job is just isn't enough, right? So that's why people look for opportunities. That's why people turn to, especially now with the internet, right? That's why people, look and seek to see what's there. What is possible, right? How can I get out of the rat race? How can I, be able to live life on my own terms, right? How can I make a difference, and not just in my own life or my family's life, but those within my community, those in my neighborhood, those that are around me, right? And how can I reach people from a global perspective as well, right? And so that's why we all came together. You know what I mean? And I still believe all of us still have those dreams. We still looking for financial freedom. We still want to be free. We still want to be able to create a dynasty, right? Be able to leave a legacy for our families. People still want to do that, right? And it's not going to be from a 9 to 5 job, right? I think everyone understands that, or at least the majority of people, anyways, understand that, right? And so we have to, be able to put ourselves in a position whereby we can take advantage of opportunities, right? And that's where, on passive came in that in 2018, as people were looking, 2019, people were still looking, 2020, people were still looking, right? And so they were able to jump on board the on passive train, right? And so now we wait for this next phase to see what it's going to look like, right? Because it's still important to us. If it wasn't important, we wouldn't be here. We would not be doing this live today, Julie, right? But clearly, it's important to us, right? And so we just have to continue to be patient, continue to stay the course, right? Continue to wait to get additional information, right? So then we know how to proceed. It's as simple as that. Nothing is complicated. Nothing is confusing. It's still the same, right? Because we know in the end, Julie, all that matters is to win. That's all that matters in the end, right? So whether it takes 7 years, 8 years, whatever the case may be, as long as you win in the end, that's what matters. Then you can say, you know what, it was well worth the wait. Of course, people gonna forget about the wait. As a matter of fact, Julie, right? When success comes, people will forget about all of that, right? It's no different than any situation in your life where maybe you've gone through some bad times, some rough patches, right? And then all of a sudden, here comes good times, and then you completely forget about all the bad stuff that happened. You know what I mean? That's usually how life is. And so, whether in your personal life or in your business life, the same is applicable, right? So, yeah, we're going to continue to build our relationship even stronger, Julie, right? Because we're going in the same direction, same like mindedness, right? We're all thinking the same things. You know what I mean? We all want the same things. And so, based upon that, we have commonality that we can come together to make things happen, right? And that's exactly what we're doing right now, and that's exactly what we'll be doing in the future.
Yeah. You know how crazy it is that it started with Mr. Mufarah's two audios, right? The vision that he cares, the share that he did, the path that he has taken before, and he knows that there are so many people in that same boat, and because of that reason, to be honest with you, there's so many people that we've talked to daily saying, Mr. Mufareh, this great company, this is my last rodeo, right? This is all I am gonna do, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to take care of my family now until that comes, while I'm waiting, and it's really crazy how we all have that thing, that thought. This is it. This is the end. This is like, whether or not, what it is, this vision, this mission is my last rodeo, and that's what everyone is saying, and that's why so many people are here. And Mr. Mufarah's public appearance the other day is really to reassure to his supporters, his followers, or for all of us, for the, we call them the founders, and the ambassadors, or there's a lot of terms we've been using, just reassurance that we are all here, and our energy of sharing our excitement for what coming ahead in the next phase, also giving that energy to Mr. Mufareh as well. Say there are people still waiting for, for the things that I'm doing. And so for me is, I've never faltered. Whatever that I recognized that I've seen in the past 6 years is my focus point. I want to be there. I want to get there. And because of that, I guess, focus, um, my eyes are open out to more things, to learn things and putting things together. For me, I know that there is something there that is cooking right now for me, for our futures, right? All I have to do is take what I have, takes myself, and plug into it. That's how I believe it's going to happen. And so I share that with a couple of friends the other day. I said I wanted to take this time not only to taking care of my family, make sure my children are safe, make sure that we are here, we doing well, but at the same time, I want to take this time to actually focus on my inner self as well. My strength, my soul, work on my you know personal development as well. So I really wanted to take this time to do that, and I'm praying and hoping that our next phase is coming, and when that's ready coming, I am ready for it with my open arms, whether or not to take care of my family, to make sure that everyone's in my family has total freedom, make sure that the people around me, my neighbors, everywhere, people around us have a chance to helping each other, to lift up humanity. And I do believe that in order for us to eradicate poverty is to take care of the poor people, whether or not education, financial, career, it doesn't matter. And I believe that that's what the goal, and that's what Mr. Mufarah's mission is to be able to give it back to people, bring the values back into people, for them to be the best version of themselves. And that's how I see it.
Well, I mean, we're in the people's business, right? We're
Yeah.
we're in the people's business. It's all about people, Julie. Not one person, but people. Okay. You can't. I'm a very independent person. Okay, right. So I like to do things my way, on my own, etc. But regardless of that, I need to have people around me, right? And to me, you're only as successful as the size of your network. Okay. So for me, I'm always in the networking business, meaning I'm always looking at relationships and growing that base, right? And that's exactly what has happened since we've been on passive, right? Our network, our base has grown, our community has grown as a result of the past six and a half, almost 7 years. That's what has happened, and so to me, that's very, very, very valuable, Julie. Right? When we think of social media and all the different platforms and how they make their money, right? It's all about the size of their network. I mean, that's why Facebook was willing to pay billions, or actually did it, right? Paid billions for WhatsApp, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's a network of 500 people. Hey, let's add it to our fold. Instagram and so on and so forth, right? It just makes sense. All these social influencers, right? Okay, what has happened? How are they become billionaires now, right? Multimillionaires. Like, how is that possible, right? Again, it's the social influence. It's the community that they've been able to build, whether it's followers, whether you're talking about subscribers, all these different things, right? So many people before on passive, okay, their YouTube channel had 0 subscribers, right? Now some of them have 80,000. You know what I mean? Right? Why? Okay. So you can see how they've been able to grow, right? Not just as an individual, but even their network, right? Over time. Okay. So that you can't put a price on that, Julie. You understand me? You can't put a price on that. And so we've seen how these big companies are able to monetize, that network that they've built over the years. So it's smart. I mean, you know what I mean? So what have we done in on passive? We've built a community of 1.4 million account holders. You understand, right? And so what happens next? Okay, you monetize it. You drop products inside there, and you're able to monetize it, Julie. Right? I mean, it's not rocket science. It really is that simple, right? So coming together these past 6.5 years has done a lot of good, right? It was, regardless of how people may feel from a financial standpoint, right? It has done a lot of good. There's no doubt about that. As we said many times, just the fact that, we know each other, right? And so many others that we know as a result of that relationship that we've built over the past 6.5 years. It's important, Julie, right? So, I mean, I can walk away with that and be good with that because that is very, very valuable, right? And I think a lot of people lose sight of that. A lot of people lose sight of, okay, you expanded your network by 5 or by 10, right? There's value in that. You understand? It's not just, oh, where's the money? There's no money in my hands, right? There's value in building a community of any size. Obviously, the bigger, the better, but any size will do. You know what I mean? You can be successful with just a community of 2. You can be successful with a community of 10. It doesn't have to be millions upon millions. You understand, right? You just have to know how to go about it right? How to be able to put it together, Julie, right? So yeah, there's lots of value in what we've achieved over the past 6.5 years since 2018. Lots of value, right? And so if we, again, look deeper into what we actually have our hands on, then people should be excited about that, Julie. You understand me, right? But again, because people are just looking at, well, okay, there's no money. I didn't get any money in my pocket. Where's my money? And that's all they're thinking, and not understanding the bigger picture and seeing how a lot of value has been implemented, a lot of value has been achieved, and then you have to just know how. Okay, well, how can I monetize that? How can I, put that to use to my betterment, right? What can I do with that? Okay, great. I understand. I hear what you're saying, but what can I do with it? You know what I mean? And so people just have to think, right? People just have to think. Many others I've put some thought to that, right? And I'm sure as we move forward, right, the same thing is going to happen. You're gonna look at your network and say, okay, this is what I've done, this is what I've accomplished. Okay, now that we're going to this next phase, okay, how does that translate, right? How does it translate? What I've done for the past number of years, how does that translate as we move into the next phase? Because it's going to be important, right? And so I think, if we all do a self reflection, right, that we can see that, oh yeah, you know what, I didn't think of that. Yeah, okay, I actually have some value. I've actually received some value from just being involved, right? And so I think that is extremely important. It's a different way of looking at things, right? Because we always focus on, like I said, on the financial side of things, the money side of things, right? But when we look on the other side and see, yes, these are intangible values that can translate into monetary value down the road. And there's no doubt about that, right? And that's how these large communities are built, Julie. It's just from that, just from, me and you, just for one, two, three. That's all it is, right?
Yeah.
And that has been proven time and time again in so many different areas, so many different industries, around the globe, right? So people just say, take some time, reflect, and you'll appreciate the value that you've received thus far. And there's more to come, of course. There's more to come.
Absolutely, Michael, and I'm glad you brought that up too. That there's a lot of values that we don't see. When people think about values, they might think just money, things that you can touch, and stuff like that, and people. But we're talking about values that we don't see. For example, before on passive, how many of us are are on their own all the time that feel lonely, right? We are now, when we're sick, we have each other. We have people are checking on us. I mean, that's valuable. That is something that you really can't pay for, right? And so that's one thing that I see too. We reaching out to people, we checking on people every single day. And if there's one sick person or not well in a community, there's thousands of people around the world praying for it. And so I believe this is really a great time to reflect on the values that we receive, reflect on ourselves, and if there's areas in our life that we need to work on, we're working on them, and be ready, be prepared for the next phase, the next steps. And so we are still here, and we are stronger in terms of relationship, in terms of personal development. And also on Mr. MUFAREH's side and the company side, they are stronger. They've learned, the things that they made mistakes or whatever in the past. And now we're better, we're stronger, and we're gonna arrive together, winning together and bigger as well. So we're still here, Michael.
And that's a wrap. Oh wow, great!
So
That's a great topic today, Julie. Definitely, right? Because it's
absolutely.
important. I mean, relationships. You can't get away from relationships. Like you just can't. If you do, like you're not living.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How can you live like by yourself? Meaning you have no one around you whatsoever. You don't ever talk to anyone. There's no interaction. You don't see anyone. you must be on a remote island somewhere, all by yourself, right? It's very difficult to go through life like that. Very, very difficult. Even if it's just one person that you have that you connect with, right? Um, all of us, every single one of us, doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter where you live, right? Every single one of us, we need someone,
Mhm.
right? Need, not want. We need someone, right? Whether it's companionship, it just doesn't matter. We need someone. We have to have someone to talk to, Julie. You can talk to yourself, for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. No, right? That just means that you're insane, right? So we certainly need to be able to, communicate with others. And certainly if that's one of your goals in life is to be able to help other people, well,
Mhm.
there you go. You still need others. Okay, who are you going to help, right? If isn't anyone around you, who are you going to reach out to if there's isn't anyone around you? So we all need that. We all need that personal touch in today's climate, where everything is digital and you don't see people, and we got AI doing all sorts of crazy stuff. You know what I mean? You still need that personal touch. I still need to pick up that phone and call someone, not just send a text.
Mhm.
Text, text, text. I mean, how do I know the other person on the other end is who I'm actually communicating with? You know what I mean? In today's climate, right? So it's still good to pick up the phone and call somebody, and even just to say hello, right?
Yeah.
It's still a good thing. I mean, you and I, we text, but we also pick up the phone and call each other,
Yeah.
right? And so on. So yeah, I mean, that's important. So we have to have those relationships, and I think that the past 6.5 years have helped us forged a lot of great relationships that we'll have going forward. Regardless of where we are, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, those relationships are now lifelong, right? They'll be there. Um, you can say till death do us part,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
So yeah, that's the type of relationship that we've built over the years. Yeah,
Yeah, the
absolutely.
relationship that we have the same vision, the same mission.
Mhm.
We're communicating the same language
Right.
and wavelength as well. So it's really
Mhm.
important. And so I love the community that we have. I love meeting people around the world that we have. And so I know there are so many people around the world in our community as well
Mhm.
is observing Ramadan. May you find yourself peace and tranquility and love in the time that you observe this. And then for many of us who are observing Lentons coming up, I believe it is really a time, a sign, and a time for we are reflecting on ourselves. Sometimes it's always great to focus on the inner self than out here. And
Mhm.
so we do hope that we are taking time to actually do that, and prepare. Good things are coming. The best is yet to come, right? So everyone, thank you so much for being here, and stay blessed and stay well. And if you're dealing with some sort of illness right now, we do hope that you recover soon and stay strong. Sometime the inner power heal you better. Right.
Mhm.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mike.